What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching Tru Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, back once again with an end of year list video. We are here to discuss the top 10 best NJPW matches of 2022. So, of course, if we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, we have to get the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, Patreon, and beyond. He is J-News.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your good about the J-News, and we're back at it again. Top 10 listing it, 2022, me and SP3. I don't know where this is going to go. You don't know where this is going to go. We're just going to list this off. We're going to have fun with this. And yeah,
it's kind of our new system with these year-end lists. It used to be only me on these year-end lists a lot of the years, and now we're making a more collective type of list to end off 2022. As you've seen, we did list videos on our best AEW matches as well as WWE matches. Here we have the best NJPW matches. You still got to come the best overall matches of 2022 from all three companies, as well as Impact Wrestling and beyond. You also got the best male wrestler, best female wrestler, best feud of the year, and best major show of the year videos. So we're capping off 2022 in a major way. But this list is a little bit different from our other lists. Our other lists, we got nominees from different people throughout the wrestling world when it came to WWE and AEW matches. Me and J-News wanted to cap off the year. We've been covering New Japan, bringing it back, the coverage for the company here on the channel. So we decided we're going to put our list together collectively between us two. What did you think about that little process that we did today?
Well, you know, man, I'll say this. Collaboration and coordination is what we're about. We work well as a team, and so we had to put this thing together. We disagreed, we agreed, we then convened, and then we put it together. So that's the way it went about.
That's how the magic works, ladies and gentlemen. That's how the magic works. But yes, we are here to bring it all together and to bring it to you. So remember to show your support. We want to wish you a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of the above. Any holidays.
Hey. Don't ever forget, it is Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us who don't celebrate any of that. Yes. We hope that you are all enjoying the holiday season. Hope you and yours have a great one, and hope that you check out all of our year-end list videos as we cap off the years, as well as Tru Heel Heat 206 with our 6th annual year-end awards, where we read out the winners for a lot of the overall winners for the year from our ballots that were given to us by the fans, our Patreon backers, as well as those of our contributors here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. But let's talk about NJPW before we get into this top 10 list. Overall, what was your thoughts on 2022 for NJPW, J-News?
It was a long year.
Indeed.
It was a long year.
You don't lie.
I think that trying to get familiar with some of their new shows in comparison to what their steady shows from year to year were, still dealing with some of the COVID fallback and stuff like that. Some guys in and out here and there. That really hampered a lot of what the early year stuff was. Not so much after, I would say September has been pretty steady. Besides that, from an in-ring standpoint, I think the wrestling is still, New Japan still top tier when it comes to in-ring stuff and bringing us great in-ring action and things of that nature. Storyline wise, I think that outside of what happens with Okada and what happens with Ospreay, I think the storyline with Naito has been interesting, to say the least.
The fall from grace.
The comeuppance of guys like David Finlay finally coming up in the roster. Ren Narita making his re-debut. Shota Umino making his re-debut. Master Wato still crawling his way to the Grand Master, and things of that nature. So it's been they've had their their ups and their downs, their good and their bad. But you know, I wouldn't say it's been a bad year for New Japan overall. I would say that it's been a good year. You know, it's not mid or anything like that, but it's been a good year. So
I think it has been an up year for New Japan. I think overall have better feelings coming out of 2022 than I did coming out of 2020 as well as 2021. You could tell they're going back into the right direction for the overall company, and definitely you look at the guys you mentioned. Okada had a tremendous year. Ospreay had one of the greatest years, as we'll talk about with this list here. Naito, you know, having his kind of it seems like is the end of his run as a top star in that top position. Zack Sabre Jr. had a hell of a spring. You had Shingo throughout the year having great matches. You know, even recently having a great match outside of New Japan for Takumi Shinoku and Taishi's Just Tap Out promotion. So yeah, it's been a great year overall for the roster. You have some guys that seem to be going out of like that top star form or upper card form, whether it be a Naito, whether it be a Tanahashi. I think this is the first year that we don't have a Tanahashi match.
We don't
on our
have a
list.
Tana match on the list. Yeah,
We don't have a Tanahashi match on the list. And I think any other year we would do this list, we would. Ishii is another guy who didn't have quite as many top matches as we expect from him, especially when it came to like the G1. Jay White, he only was here for half of the year. So a lot of guys had very interesting years, and a lot of guys rose up, whether it be a Tama Tonga in the heavyweight division and turning babyface, whether it be you know, the junior heavyweights like El Desperado furthering his claim to be kind of one of the aces of that division. You got Taiji Ishimori winning the championship, Master Wato making more of a name for himself, Hiromu Takahashi furthering his status as one of the greatest junior heavyweights of all time, winning the Best of the Super Juniors. So a lot of great stuff throughout New Japan, whether it be heavyweight division, tag team division with FTR coming over and crossing over, working with AEW, New Japan Forbidden Door. I think that a lot of our voting kind of skewed to just specifically New Japan shows, but they had two of the best shows of the year that were joint promoted with AEW with Forbidden Door, as well as with Stardom for historic crossover as well. So a lot of big moments, a lot of big events for NJPW in 2022.
For sure, man. That's why I remember when I was telling you earlier, man, it's just been a lot this year, man.
Yeah.
You know, the mind can only take but so much. You can only remember but so much. And so, yeah, it's just been a long year, but not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad way. And that's what makes lists like this fun to look back on. But once again, guys, this is our list that we put together collectively between us, but it is not the list. We want to hear from you. Let us know if you're watching us for the premiere in the live chat. If you want to know if we missed out on a match or what you thought was the best NJPW match of 2022, let us know in the live chat. More importantly, let us know in the comments down below. This is pre-recorded, but we really want to know and engage with you. So if you let us know in the comments down below your top 10 list or your top match for NJPW, we will interact with you because we would love to hear your thoughts, because like we said, this is our list, but not the list. We want to hear your opinion as well. But
there it is.
Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, because this is our top 10 best NJPW matches of 2022. A couple of the honorable mentions. Did you have, I know you had a couple of matches that just missed out on our list here. Did you want to mention them before we get into the top 10?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, SP3, I think that it wouldn't be me without having to mention a Sonata match, you know, for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Outside of our top 10, I mentioned the where do we have here? Where's my list on this thing? Sonata versus Ospreay from Dominion, I had on there. I also had another honorable mention. Ren Narita versus Ishii was on there for me as well.
For the television title tournament.
For the television title tournament for Battle Autumn. And then I also mentioned I don't think we have Hiromu versus Despy on here, do we? No. Hiromu versus Despy from Best of Super Juniors. Those are my honorable mentions for the year of 2022.
Definitely some good stuff there. A couple of my honorable mention, Switchblade Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada from Dominion, with Jay White winning the championship. I thought that was just a tremendous performance from Switchblade. Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay from Battle Riot. I think a lot of people will remember that more fondly if it wasn't for the finish. But I think that these two guys went out there and had a hell of a main event that should get mentioned more. And my last one, I would say, only because it's an NJPW. I would say a couple of the co-promoted event show matches that kind of stood out to me. I love the four-way for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship from Forbidden Door. It has a black cloud over it because of what happened to Adam Cole and the finish, but I thought it was a great match all the way through, as well as Sting's six-man tag. That was so much fun as well.
Right.
You also got from historic crossover, Kyrie versus Mayu Iwatani. I thought that was an amazing matchup and would be on our list if we wanted to keep it. If we kept it like overall, any New Japan associated show, I think it would have made our list, but definitely had to mention that as well.
Word, man. Oh, the extra shooter Ospreay. Let's not forget about that match as well. Wanted to throw that one in there just because I want to give the kids some love. I want to show the kids some love.
Absolutely. But let's get into that top 10. We're going to start off with number 10, J-News. We got from NJPW Burning Spirit for the IWGP United States Championship. David Finlay getting his shot at Will Ospreay, a name that you will see a lot on this list. What was your thoughts, your memories from this match here?
I mean, my memory ain't much nowadays, but I'll tell you this. I thought, and I remember seeing this on our recording of the Burning Spirit show overall. This was David Finlay's coming out party. Like, this match definitely put him into that mid-card to upper tier stratosphere. He can hang is basically what this match said and stated. And much props to him after all these years of New Japan Pro Wrestling getting that spotlight. And I thought that this was going to be, or at least this is the beginning of him being able to run with the ball into the future. So those are my thoughts about this match. What about you, SP3?
I thought the lead up to this match was really strong with what happened in the G1 and David Finlay's kind of what seems like a career-long hunt and chase for the IWGP United States Championship. Started with Switchblade Jay White when he was the champion. He's faced, and interacted with various champions since then. But this felt like his biggest chance to kind of win the gold in the main event, coming off that big win against Ospreay in the G1. I thought that he came out firing. He showed that kind of fighting spirit that you expect from a New Japan Pro Wrestling top babyface, and he showed that he could be one of the gaijins that New Japan gets behind. So I think he's a guy that I will have my eye on, that I think will have a big 2023, but I agree with you. This was the coming out party for David Finlay.
Bo show.
But of course, gotta mention Will Ospreay kind of holding his own. I love the way when he's against like that type of babyface, he brings out kind of the bully in him.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot more to say about Will. Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna downplay it for now because there's more to be said. All right, we got to move on to number 9, and we got from Capital Collision in the United States, here in Washington, D.C., not here, but here on the East Coast in Washington, D.C. in May. It was Eddie Kingston of AEW going one-on-one with Tomohiro Ishii of New Japan Pro Wrestling. What was your memories, your thoughts of this one?
Man. Okay, so let me put this in a roundabout way. I'll say this for myself because I don't know if I'm going to be a part of any of the other list shows and stuff like this. Will Ospreay for me is the wrestler of the year in 2022, right? But to say that Eddie Kingston did not have a great 2022 in comparison to where he's been in his career is like, you're not watching pro wrestling. And for him to have this match versus Ishii, he had a lot of his dream matches come true this year. So I couldn't feel but good to see Eddie as a part of this particular list for us. I thought that the match was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was hard hitting. It was strong style. It was those guys kicking the crap out of one another. And at the end of the day, you know, what it meant for Eddie to be in that match and to get that opportunity and to show and prove that his style is a style that people can gravitate to. This match proved it, right? So big props to Eddie Kingston. Ishii, also another one of those wrestlers that is on his last legs, as he stated himself. And for him to still be giving us these stellar matches at the tail end of his career is just it's just proof of how good of a professional wrestler he is. And this match, man, stole the entire show. So props to this match. This is why it's number 9 on the list. Your thoughts, SP3?
And the same show had an excellent 4-way for the IWGP United States Championship, with Juice Robinson defeating Will Ospreay, John Moxley, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. But I agree, this was the show stealer of that night, because Ishii and Kingston, that is just a mouth-watering matchup that I know everyone wanted to see when AEW and New Japan started working together. And even before we get the Forbidden Door kind of announcement, we get this matchup, and it was just, oh man, it was everything you could have hoped for. It was hard hitting, it was intense. You had Kingston just going in the King's Road style, going up against the strong style of Tomohiro Ishii, and it was like, whose type of fighting is better? And it was Ishii on this night that gained the victory, and that's what made kind of the matchup at All Out, the rematch, even more tantalizing, because I was like, oh, I want to see it again. And I was there live for that, and I love that matchup with the hard chops echoing across the arena and stuff. But this match here was so much better. First time ever feels. It felt like a special moment, and I think these guys went out there and delivered.
Damn right. Damn right.
Let's move on to number 8. We stay in May in the same month, but back in Japan, Wrestling Dontaku. You got Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito. These two, man, long storied rivalry, kind of Okada always getting in the way of Naito. We talked about it a little bit at the start of the video about Naito's kind of ongoing story throughout the year, trying to get back to the main event of Wrestle Kingdom and just coming up short on his final legs as a top star. And this big matchup kind of encapsulates that. But what was your memories on this one?
It was another one of their many classics. It's been it's all they do, son. It's been a hell of a decade for those two, and for them to continue to bring us matches of this caliber and this level on an offshoot show like Dontaku at the end of the day was dope, man. It was dope. And yet again, to your point, the storyline, right? I think Naito's fall from grace in 2022 has been quite the story. And now we're here, right? And we mentioned this match because Naito deserves to still be relevant. And this match proves it at the end of the day. So those are my thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I wasn't as high on this match as you. I remember it being one of their better matches of the year. I think they closed out their series of matches for this year strong. They had a great matchup in February. I thought the matchup in the New Japan Cup was a little bit better because Naito winning kind of came as a shock and came out of nowhere, even though he was the smart winner to go over there. And then it built to this matchup. I just felt like it was too soon after the New Japan Cup. I was kind of drawn out of it, but they came out, and I couldn't deny them having a tremendous bout, because these two guys just have a special kind of chemistry. Despite me feeling like I've seen the matchup so many times, I just love how they can just ebb and flow, and they work off each other so well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that chemistry is undeniable, as they would say.
Coming in at number 7, we go to the New Japan Cup, the aforementioned New Japan Cup, and one of the best matches of the tournament here. You got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay in the quarterfinals, to the two men, the only two British wrestlers to win the New Japan Cup, going at it here. Another classic match between these longtime rivals. What's your memories of this one?
I always come out of their matches. There's always going to be a bit of comedy in their matches, just because of who they are to one another as people, and then who they are as individual pro wrestlers. So it's always like you stated before, tantalizing to always see this match come up on a card, and then to actually watch the card, to actually watch the match be delivered. There's always something new. There's always something old to get referenced to. There's always and there's always a slap fight. There's always the verbal barbs between the two. Love that stuff, man. But like their individualistic styles being so different, as they say in boxing, as they say in a lot of different places, styles make fights, and their differentiation of their styles, putting them in a ring, what they deliver to us as fans, I think is always amazing and super dope to watch. So this was nothing short of that. New Japan Cup style, as we saw it this year. So big ups to ZSJ and Will Ospreay. This is Will Ospreay's second match on the list so far. So we will continue to talk about Will and his great 2022. But you know, we can't fail to mention ZSJ, as ZSJ is still the number one techer on the planet. So, you know, that's just my mention there. Your thoughts about this match, SP3?
I love their individual styles and how they mesh so well, because Will can go, hold for hold, and he can do the European catch as catch can kind of style in the ring, but he is a high flyer. He likes to soar through the air. He likes to use now more hard strikes and more crispness in the ring. And then you have Zack Sabre Jr., who just specializes in one thing. He's a submission expert. He's an octopus. So it's like an eagle versus an octopus. Shout outs to Tempest from Wrestle Talk, who said that about this matchup. It's like an eagle versus an octopus. And it's like every time Will Ospreay wants to batter and lay in that final death nail blow on Zack Sabre Jr., he would reverse him into some type of submission. And that eventually was the finish of the matchup. Ospreay tried to come down with a big forearm strike, and Sabre Jr. was able to reverse that. He gets him into the hold and then bends back on his knee. Will says he's just trying to pull up his knee pad, but it sure as hell looked like a tap out to me. So the controversial finish, you're either gonna love it, you're gonna hate it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was kind of a flash finish and came out of nowhere, and it was such an intense match up until then, and just how Will can just go so fast in the ring, and how he flows with different people in the ring when he hits those ropes. It's so unique, and it's a special thing in each of the matches that we're going to mention here.
For sure. Pace. It's all about the pace.
Indeed. And these guys came out firing. They said they did very fast from the very beginning in this one, and they kept it up until the very end when the finish came very fast and out of nowhere. So let's move on to number 6. Oh, look, mama, there go that man again. It's Will Ospreay once again on our list, this time against another longtime rival, Shingo Takagi, in the G1 Climax 32 tournament from day 12. This one here, no surprise, Ospreay, Shingo have a match. It's on the end of year list as one of the best matches in NJPW. Oh, what a surprise. They've done this last year, the match of the year before that they were on the top 10, the year before that they were the match of the year. So J-News, what was your thoughts on this entry to the Ospreay Shingo rivalry?
It is another one of those matches where, depending as to how much longer Shingo wants to wrestle, we're going to continue to get on a yearly basis, and we will see if they can top their previous year's match. Because it just seems like that's what they're trying to do, year in and year out. Takagi Shingo, as you guys know, I've been saying it all year long. Still, to me, the best IWGP World Heavyweight Champion to ever step into that ring. That dude, he just delivers, man. Shingo delivers, brother. Like, they ain't nothing else to it. He delivers. And to have the best wrestler of the last 2 years, yes, I said 2 years, in the ring, doing the damn thing, tearing the house down. It's what they do. That's why we watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. Forget the freaking drama. Forget the antics. Forget all that crap. It's the in-ring work. The flippy-dippy shit plus the strong style shit. It all works. God damn it. It's pro wrestling. Give it to them there. SP3, your thoughts?
I like the fact that, yes, Ospreay can do the flippy dippy stuff. Shingo can go out there and just batter someone for 20, 25 minutes. But I love the fact in this match, it's all of the storytelling of this matchup is all based on the time limit. Because Ospreay was 3-1 against Shingo heading into this matchup, but he had always beaten Shingo over 30 minutes in the Best of the Super Juniors finals in 2019, in the New Japan Cup last year, as well as their championship matchup at Wrestling Donkaku last year, the 6-Star Classic. All over 30-minute wins, while Shingo's one win was in the G1 climax. So it all became about how Shingo just kept running and just running through Will Ospreay, just trying to batter him down, hit that knockout blow, and then eventually hitting that Last of the Dragon for the win. It just great storytelling. The in-ring action is always going to be on par, because I think that these guys are just the masters when it comes to pacing, how they can just, slowly build up to it, and then it's just like boom, 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 boom. I think they do that the best, and that's why a lot of people feel Ospreay's greatest rival is actually Shingo Takagi.
Yeah, buddy. You know it. You know it.
Let's move on to the top 5 J-News. Coming in at number 5, we go back to the New Japan Cup, and we talk once again about Shingo Takagi and another person we mentioned earlier, Zack Sabre Jr. These two men went at it in the semifinals. What did you think and your memories of this match here?
Every time these two guys step into the ring, I feel it's personal for whatever reason. Anytime they get into the ring, it just feels personal, and it is always a delight to see the smash mouth style of Shingo Takagi versus the submission style of Zack Sabre Jr. But when Zack gets pissed off and he wants to get in there and he wants to lay it in, he'll lay it in, and we'll get a different side of Zack Sabre Jr. And that is what Shingo Takagi gets to bring out of Zack Sabre Jr., which is what makes their matches so dynamic and so appealing to watch. You get different sides of Zack Sabre Jr., like I was saying before. And Shingo Takagi, man, like I said, ain't nothing better, man. Ain't nothing better. Shingo just brings out the best in a lot of these dudes. And at the end of the day, another great Shingo versus ZSJ match. I think the New Japan Cup has been their event the last few years, to be quite honest. Either between Shingo and ZSJ, they've really been upping the ante for these matches. So that's always my recollection of any of their matches, just them trying to up the ante. And shit, man, when ZSJ wants to smack the taste out of somebody's mouth, it's during these Shingo matches. So that's always cool to see. But SP3, your thoughts on what happened in the New Japan Cup this year?
Another beautiful clash of styles on this list, where you have Shingo, like I said, he's the hard-hitting ram bull type of wrestler who's going to run through you, but he's always very, very technical sound, always so flawless with his footwork and his pacing in the ring, while Zack Sabre Jr., he's the octopus. So he's trying to ground Shingo throughout this matchup, while he's getting kind of trapped in what because one of Zach's biggest weakness is his kind of cockiness and willingness to go into strike battles with guys that will always outstrike him. But when he always eventually goes back to his bread and butter, the submission, he will always pull it out. And that's what happened here. It looked like Shingo was going to put him away, and then Sabre Jr. was able to lock on a triangle choke. He eventually transitions that into a rear naked choke. Shingo tries to get him off of his back with a big, going to the second rope and like slamming down his body onto Sabre Jr., but he stays on. He's like a snake, a python around his neck. Shingo eventually tries to get to his feet. He's on his feet, and then he just passes out. What a great finish. I think it's one of the best finishes of the year from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I love that it made our list here. And this one was rated 5 stars from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. This was back-to-back 5-star matches for Sabre Jr. following his New Japan Cup quarterfinal matchup with Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Let's move on to number 4, J-News. And Mama, there go that man again. It's Will Ospreay going up against Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship from New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle Autumn in November. Recency bias, be damn. What was your memories on this one? We just recently reviewed this last month.
We recently reviewed this particular match, and how they get us invested emotionally into these matches, I don't know sometimes, right? And then you get lost in it while you're watching it, and it's like, yeah, this is why you're emotionally invested. Because if you're a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, new or old, you tend to learn that these wrestlers give you so much in such a little amount of time that you're just bound to just get trapped into that particular world or that particular match. And for instance, this match between Will Ospreay and Tetsuya Naito was no different. We didn't necessarily always have this match on the big board, right? There wasn't that many Will Ospreay versus Naito matches to think of, and to have this particular match go down the way that it did, even though we're going through the fall from grace of Naito as the storyline throughout the year, it's just to see him still deliver in the ring and still draw all that emotion out of the fans in the crowd, and obviously through your televisions if you're watching through TV, against a guy like Will Ospreay, who's trying to, or has accomplished the fact that he made that IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship more or less the equivalent to what the IC belt used to be for New Japan a couple of years ago, and have the guy who basically personified the Intercontinental Championship outside of Shinsuke, you know what I'm saying, in New Japan. So to bring that fight, to have that battle, and to just to use a lesser term, tear the house down yet again, these two gentlemen will never disappoint at the end of the day. And every time I hear Kevin Kelly calling for Destino, it is always a treat. But Will Ospreay, the man of 2022, the wrestler of 2022, came out with the win here. But a fantastic match, man. The back and forth, just the sheer, like you said, Will Ospreay doing his best bullying during a match. How you go into a match trying to bully Tetsuya Naito is beyond me. But whatever, man. Will tried it. and it almost worked the majority of the time. But Tetsuya Naito had an answer by majority throughout the match until the finish, obviously. But your thoughts, SP3, on this match and how it went down?
Like I said, I wasn't very high on Naito versus Okada from Dontaku, but this, my friends, in my opinion, was the first classic match that Naito has had in the last couple of years. It's been since probably Wrestle Kingdom in 2020 with him and Okada, since he had a match on this level. Just a classic, undeniable match of the year candidate. It's been quite some time for Tetsuya Naito, so I was very happy to see this. He was on his game. He was at his best, selling the neck. The neck was the primary focus for both men, really. You had Naito attacking the neck of Will Ospreay, which gave him a lot of trouble in the G1 climax. You had not just Ospreay just being violent. I love Ospreay when he just goes into that violent bully mode, hard strikes to the head, the hidden blade, just how he hits the hidden blade on Naito. It always looks like he kills him. And then finally putting him away with the Stormbreaker. This is one match that you can go back and watch our Battle Autumn roundtable review with me and J-News. I rated the match 4 3/4 stars, but I rewatched it and I gotta say, 5 stars. This is a 5-star matchup. This is one of the matchups of this year. I think all the way throughout now the rest of this list, all the matches on the rest of this list, I rated 5 stars.
There you have it, folks. Reevaluation of the situation. So we are now back at 5 stars.
And of course, Mr. Dave Meltzer rated that match 5 stars as well. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 on our list, we go all the way back, J-News, to NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 16. And we got Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. To kind of tell the story of this matchup, you had, Will Ospreay being the little brother of Kazuchika Okada. After having a matchup with him in Rev Pro in 2015, Okada took him under his wing, brought him to New Japan, put him in Chaos. Ospreay rose through the ranks, became the top junior heavyweight, then eventually moving up to the heavyweight division. Throughout it all, he could never beat his older brother, Kazuchika Okada, until the G1 Climax 30 tournament when he turned heel and betrayed Okada, joining up with Great-O-Khan, B. Priestley to form the United Empire, and then eventually facing Okada last year at Wrestle Kingdom, coming up short against Okada one-on-one in the Tokyo Dome. And then 1 year later, so much had changed. Will Ospreay had won the New Japan Cup and went on to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, having that 6-star classic with Shingo, but never actually losing the championship. He had to relinquish the title when he went back to the UK during the pandemic, and he claimed himself to be the real world champion. Okada eventually wins the G1. He goes on to defeat Shingo Takagi the night before this match, which should be an honorable mention on our list because that was an excellent matchup as well. But Okada, Ospreay, Wrestle Kingdom 16, what's your memories?
Man, I remember when the year started. I think it was like the second year in a row where I stated in our review that we started the year with the match of the year. And
I think we're going to do it 3 years in a row.
I think we might do it 3 years in a row. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, man, Wrestle Kingdom never lets you down with the high stakes matches. And Will Ospreay and Okada was a high stakes match. And for it to be what it was to start the year and still be on the list, this high up on the list, tells you just how good this match was. The history between the two, like SP3 was stating, just what Will Ospreay has been wanting to accomplish by beating Okada. But he wants to beat Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, right? That's the ultimate goal. Not just beat him, but beat him for the high stakes thing, for the high stakes prize, should I say? And yeah, man, Okada. What can you say about Okada that hasn't been said before, man? The man is a true wrestling artist. Yes, it's the 5 to 7 moves of doom, but he doesn't fail you. He just doesn't.
He hits them at the right time. That's what it's all about. It's not about having a vast repertoire. It's about having the right repertoire and hitting it at the right time. And Okada, no one hits the drop kick at the right time in a matchup like Kazuchika Okada. It doesn't matter if he hits it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Every time he hits it, it feels like it's the right time that he hit it. the tombstone, the landslide. I love the finishing sequence of this matchup where you got Ospreay, he's gearing up for with the hidden blade, and then Okada catches him out of nowhere with the drop kick, and just how the camera just zoomed in on Ospreay, so you didn't even see Okada getting up before the hidden blade and hitting the drop kick. It was just at the right time, and then Ospreay flips through, rolls through over his head, and then powers up. He runs right into the landslide, and then Okada hits him with the Rainmaker for the win. It was just on point, excellent, flawless. Love the different sequences. My favorite sequence of the matchup is a kind of a callback to their match the year prior, when Okada seems like he's got him done, hits the tombstone, he gears up for the Rainmaker, and Ospreay reverses it into the Spanish Fly. Just excellent. It's just on point. Everything is just so smooth in the ring with these two.
Man, what buttery, baby. It was all just buttery, you know. Yeah, man. The adjectives and everything else in between, I ain't got nothing left, man. I ain't got nothing left. These two, man, all day, every day.
And we got to give it up to Will Ospreay, because he kicked out of the Rainmaker here. I think that was the first time he ever kicked out the Rainmaker in this matchup.
They gave him the Kenny Omega spot. So
the Kenny Omega spot to a T here with it, with this kind of being a spiritual sequel to the Okada Omega Wrestle Kingdom 11 matchup, in that Okada kept reversing the Stormbreaker. That one, the one reversal from Stormbreaker to the Rainmaker, chef's kiss. It's so perfect. But yeah, he always avoided the Stormbreaker. Ospreay was never able to hit it, and then he finally hit him with a second Rainmaker for the win. This is another match of Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, rated 5 3/4 stars. I gave it 5 stars. You gave it 5 stars. Well deserving of being number 3 on our list here. Mm-hmm. Now let's move on to number 2, J-News. Number 2, we go to October. Mm-hmm. New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest 2. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defending the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against Aussie Open. Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis. This one got rave reviews from the individuals that were there live. Everyone since then has been high on it. Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter rated it 5 stars. J-News, what was your thoughts on this one, where you can really talk about it now? You've been waiting for this all year.
You know, Royal Quest 2 was a show that got put onto NJPW World late. So when it came onto their late, I missed the boat on that lateness. And so my lateness is so far that I watched this match 2 nights ago. And that being said, when I was creating my list, I said, hey, there has to be a tag team match that I have to put in my top 10, right? When SP3 mentioned that we were going to be doing this. And then when I watched this match two nights ago, I said to myself, why did I wait this long? 2, why hasn't this been more in my stratosphere? Why didn't it take over my social media feeds like other matches did? And 3, I will continue to say this until these two men break up and or retire. For me, and I have been watching professional wrestling since I was 4 years old. I am 38 years old now. For me, FTR is the best tag team I have ever witnessed in professional wrestling. These guys, just bar none, no one's better to me. That's my personal opinion. What they're able to do with so many different tag teams is unreal. What they did with this tag team, a tag team that I've been mentioning to dudes for years, that hasn't been on the main stage. Now that they're on the main stage, they're on New Japan. They've got some time on AEW here and there, in some multi-man matches and stuff like that. Aussie Open should be taken seriously. This particular match took the freaking cake, and that's what I thought they were going to do, and they got damn well did it. And yeah, man, I mean, if you've watched enough tag team wrestling, you understand how things in tag team wrestling matches work, right? Guys get sectored off, corners, the emotionality of it, right? One guy gets pinned down, he's losing. You got to get the hot tag sometime during the match that the crowd goes wild, right? Eventually. But this match, it had those elements, obviously. But the other element of it is these are two tag teams that are on the upper echelon of tag team wrestling right now. And to see them go 2-on-2 on a stage like Royal Quest, to me, I thought that was probably the most. I feel like they need a bigger stage, right? Which is why I wanted Aussie Open to win the World Tag League, right? But it is what it is. We still got this match. And best tag team match of the year for me, bar none, so far, across all wrestling landscapes.
Wow.
So far, yeah, for my take. And I know, I mean, at the end of the day, FTR is in everybody's top. Are they
everybody's top 4 to 5?
Is it? Yeah, it's FTR matches. Yeah, FTR is in it. So, if you haven't watched this match, go watch it. Right? You don't have New Japan World, go get you someone who does have New Japan World and go watch this match, because it's just that incredible to watch. Professional wrestling is a art form that is like no other, and when stuff comes together seamlessly, this is what this match was. And man, I don't know what else to say about it. But SP3, your thoughts on how this tag match went down in obscurity, for God's sakes.
Yo, I was so mad that it took over a week or even maybe 2 weeks for Royal Quest 2 to get on there, because all I had heard on my social media feed is how amazing FTR versus Aussie Open was, because I have a lot of friends that are in the UK that were able to be there live and just talk about that experience. They talked about it in the same way a lot of people were talking about being there live for the first FTR and the Briscoes matchup, being there in Philadelphia for FTR versus Young Bucks 2. They were talking about it in that light, so I needed to watch this. Sat down and watched it. I didn't even watch the whole Royal Quest 2 show. I went out my way to just watch this match. And boy, oh boy, is it's absolutely perfect. It's a 5-star rated matchup, no question. FTR that was kind of the cherry on top, in my opinion, of what was one of the greatest years of any tag team in the wrestling business. Like you said, everybody's going to have them in their top 5, but Aussie Open, this was an eye-opening type of matchup for them. They had to get the attention of the people. They were in kind of a atmosphere that they are comfortable in, despite being, Aussie Open from Australia. A lot of their career has been about, growing in the UK, coming up from, down low and, wrestling in that building, Your Call in the UK. So to have that opportunity, to have that big stage there in the main event against FTR, it was absolutely a beautiful matchup. It delivered in a big way, and it felt kind of akin to FTR versus DIY in a lot of ways, because you saw kind of the camaraderie and the togetherness of not just FTR. You saw that in Aussie Open and like the sharpshooter spot when they're trying to hold each other's arms in a similar fashion to what FTR does. Those little moments, those little callbacks, you love it. You love to see it in professional wrestling, and FTR does it better than anyone else.
Yeah, man, I can't disagree with anything that you just said, man. I'm gonna die on that hill, probably not by myself in the next couple of years. That FTR hill is a steep hill to climb, folks, and that's legit. I know all the great tag teams throughout history, man. The Hart Foundation, the Rockers don't get mentioned enough. The Midnight Express,
Rock and Roll Express,
the Rock and Roll Express. It just the Legion. The names go on and on at the end of the day, but FTR has done something in the last several years that I don't think a lot of tag teams have done. And they stayed together and they make us care every single fucking time. Yeah, I said it. So that's really what it is for me. So yeah, there that is.
And then finally, J-News, we have arrived at number 1.
Number 1.
Numero uno. We have number one on our list, the best NJPW match of 2022 is, drum roll please, from the G1 Climax 32 final, we have Kazuchika Okada going one-on-one with Will Ospreay, the rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 16. So we got an Okada-Ospreay sandwich at the end of our list here with FTR and Aussie Open in the middle. But we go to the second of their matches of 2022 in the G1 Climax final. You go back and watch our review, our roundtable review of the show. We both rated this match 5 stars, so I don't think it should be a surprise to many. But what's your memories, your thoughts on this one topping our list?
So to give people a little background here, me and SP3 before the show started, SP3 got on me for not putting this particular match on the list, right? So I had this my appeal for the list was I didn't want to do any duplicate matches because in New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you guys aren't aware, a lot of the matches do get repeated throughout the year. There's only but so many wrestlers on the New Japan roster. That's the good thing about the New Japan roster. But because the matches get repeated a lot, I didn't want to have so many duplicates. But SP3 kindly asked J-News, what about this? Are you sure? You gave it 5 stars. Do you not want to put this on the list? Come on, brother. How are you not going to put this on the list? And I said to myself, man, you know what? You hate to have to say it. But SP3 was right. He was absolutely right. And so this match goes to number 1. This match goes to number 1. Why does it go to number 1? Why this match over the match at Wrestle Kingdom? Is it recency bias? Is it the fact that the outcome, was it different? Was the outcome different here, SP3? Did the result change in this particular match?
I felt with this matchup, the outcome was more in doubt. The outcome was more in doubt because Will Ospreay cut one of the greatest promos of the year that I think not a lot of people are going to mention, but they should mention after he beat Naito and he talked about, going after and trying to defeat Kazuchika Okada and just studying the tape of all the greats that had defeated Okada, in big time matches. And he would not lose. He would not lose. All the passion, all the emotion, one of the great promos. And it set up what was a very interesting G1 final where you realistically could have saw Ospreay winning.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought that this match was we throw around the word classic a lot at the end of the day, right? And this isn't gonna be their final match. No. At the end of the day. We're gonna see more of this match into the future. So what the hell? I'm sorry, guys. So, we okay. We will see more of this matches to the future. But this match here in the G1, man, it just captivated me, man. It just did. I sat there and I said to myself, man, the Wrestle Kingdom match was good. It was good, but was it this good? Was it this good? And then I said to myself, yeah, no, it wasn't that good, which is why this is number 1, right? Because of what SP3 said, there was doubt. There was actual doubt. The promo Will Ospreay cut, Will does not get enough love for his promo work. He just doesn't. I think Will is very, very good on the mic when he wants to be, when they give him the chance to be, and he was able to definitely sell this match and have a little bit more intrigue and emotional tie-in for the fan in this match. And I think the G1 is one of the tournaments, or the only tournament that Will hasn't won as of yet, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's the only mountain he hasn't climbed yet.
He's the only mountain he hasn't climbed as of yet. So we were prepared to crown him, right? This is going to be Will's year. This is going to be Will's year to win the G1. And nah, that ain't happened. Kaz took the G1 yet again. But at the end of the day, I think that how this went down and It was really more this, like you said about the Wrestle Kingdom match. It was just more about the story in this match, because the in ring is always going to be the in ring with it, especially with these two. So adding that extra layer to the story in this match, I thought was definitely a plus, and which is why I considered this one to be a better match than the one at Wrestle Kingdom 16. And then admittedly added this one and put it as number one because it needed to be there. It needed to be there. Your thoughts, SP3?
This is an absolute instant classic. I don't care how often the term is used. This one, you have to go out of your way. If you're doing a top 10, a top 5, or thinking about your match of the year and you haven't watched this matchup, you're doing yourself a disservice because you missed out on the match of the year. You shouldn't even be writing a match of the year if you ain't watched this one, because this is totally different from the G1, from the Wrestle Kingdom matchup, because of Ospreay in general. I think in a lot of ways, Okada, he feels like he's in better shape than he was in January at this point, despite, the brutalness and the grueling tournament that he had went through with the G1. So he looks like a much different polished performer. I actually went back this week and watched both matches back to back, and the biggest difference is Ospreay's demeanor. Ospreay in the Wrestle Kingdom match, he's cocky. He's going for different risks. He goes for the moonsault off the lighting pole and a callback to Wrestle Kingdom 12. He's trying to do, Okada's moves, doing the Rainmaker. This time he's so much focused. He's not talking the same amount of shit. He's focused. His demeanor is just so zoned in on trying to defeat Okada and using the different, legends and ghosts of Okada's past, whether it's AJ Styles. He uses the phenomenal forearm, and then he pulls out the Style Clash letter. Then he goes into the Tanahashi playbook, pulling out the High Fly Flow. Then he goes for the V trigger of Kenny Omega. Then he goes for the One Ring Angel, and Okada has to reverse out of that and hit a Rainmaker. And it's just how they go to these different sequences and hit the moves at just the right time. This is why they are just so amazing together. And I loved how they used the finish of Wrestle Kingdom and turned it on its head, as Okada drops him with the clothesline. Ospreay comes right back at him. He hits him with the landslide, hits him with the Rainmaker, and then Ospreay kicks out. He kicks out of the Rainmaker again, but he kicks out of the Rainmaker after the same sequence that beat him at Wrestle Kingdom, which thus elevates Ospreay, showing that he's better than he was in January, even now after a grueling tournament and coming in with a bad neck. And then, Okada working over the neck throughout it, and Ospreay's selling of it was just tremendous. So all of that comes into one. You got the selling, you got the storytelling, you had a crowd that, despite being a clapping crowd, that was loud and engaged into the action and added to the atmosphere. So you had everything that checks the box for a perfect matchup, and this one hit it to a T. Rewatching it for a second time just reconfirmed my feelings. I think that when it comes down to the match of the year video that we're going to do, and if you look at the voting for the Tru Heel Heat year-end awards, it's going to come very close with any match against this one.
Yeah. I think that it's fair to say that this match should be in the top 10 of overall wrestling matches for the year. So yeah, man, me and SP3, we knocked out this top 10 for you good people. If you disagree, let us know. If you agree, let us know. If we missed anything, let us know. Comment down below wherever you're gonna comment. Shoot us DMs if you have to. Wherever.
Not me.
No, I'm sorry.
Let them know where they can hit you with the DM.
_JONJY on the Instagram. Yeah, man. It's been quite the year in NJPW, and I would like to mention one last thing. The last show before Wrestle Kingdom came down today on December 23rd, 2022, for New Japan, and it is definitely the end of an era. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Suzuki-gun is no more. They had their last hurrah today. They did a 4-on-4 against each other. They, after the match was finished, Suzuki got on the microphone and basically bid the group a farewell. They brought back, damn, why am I forgetting his name right now? SP3, the madman with yeah.
Suzuki or what?
No.
Azuki or
yeah, Azuka. Yeah, Azuka came down from the crowd to finalize the show, as they were the main event of the show. And they took a grand photo with the Suzuki Goon banner being held by Taka Michinoku. A lot of love in the ring between all the members and things of that nature. ZSJ, highly emotional. Lance Archer, highly emotional. Even Tai Chi. It was interesting to see. And to see Murder Grandpa be to see him lead such an emotional kind of an event and moment for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the members of his group was a sight to see, and it was welcome, man, because for all intents and purposes, I think that we look at these guys as entertainers, we look at them as wrestlers, and we forget that they're people, man, and they've been doing this stuff for long periods of time, and they travel with one another a lot, they're with each other a lot, and to say that they're breaking up the band and disbanding at this point in time, obviously, like I stated before in previous videos, Suzuki's on his way out, folks, and we have to enjoy what we have left of Murder Grandpa. And yeah, man, just another great moment, another sad moment in New Japan this year. And so I just wanted to mention that for everybody, being that we're doing the top 10. So any other final thoughts that you have, SP3, before we get the hell on out?
Well, follow me on the Twitter machine at
there it is.
SP3. Don't send me any DMs like you want to send J-News.
No DMs.
Follow us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. And of course, twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming. You also got Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. Go over and subscribe over there. We got content coming up until the end of the year over there. And then usually you will find some other New Japan Pro Wrestling content at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month. We got the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship ending off this year. Actually, we pushed it back. It's ending off with Wrestle Kingdom. So you could pitch your predictions for Wrestle Kingdom as we end season 2 of our Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship. Plus, we got additional content, Raw recaps, as well as more up on the Tru Heel Heat Patreon. So check us out over there. I just want to end things off by thanking J-News for a great 2022 covering New Japan Pro Wrestling. Always fun chatting with the good brother and having you back on the main channel to talk about some NJPW. And of course, we want to thank all of you. We got a lot of folks that are primarily, here because we cover New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we appreciate y'all. A couple of folks I remember, like Kayfabe Tactics, as well as Vala B, all of you great guys. Frantic World, I know, is big New Japan fans, and we appreciate your support on all of these videos. So hope that you comment down below as well. So drop the thumbs up on the video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms, and stay tuned to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Hit the bell to stay notified, because we have more year-end videos coming up. But this has been our top 10 best NJPW matches of 2022. For J-News, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are signing off until next time.